Are you ready to reset your confidence for 2025? Well, on this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, we are going to reflect, release, and refocus. So stick around. Welcome to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win-Win Women TV. This show is all about sharing the tips, tools, and techniques that will allow you to step boldly in the direction of your dreams despite your feelings, fears, or past failures, to imagine what's possible for yourself and live the life you deserve. Well, hello, and welcome to this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win-Win Women TV. I'm your host, Alicia Couri. Got caught a little off guard there. Hi, I'm super excited to have you join us today on this episode because we're going to talk about reflecting, releasing, and renewing for 2025. So happy holidays, everyone. I hope you're getting ready to celebrate and have a good time, but also keep in mind where we're going in 2025. How can we get there with ample confidence? So I just want to encourage you that to go to winwinwomen.com. Check it out. Go to Win-Win Women. They have so many amazing resources there for women, by women. So go check it out. And if you want to connect with me, you can always go to alicia360.com and connect with me. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the shows, if there's something that you want me to share or talk about or bring a guest on, you reach out to me, alicia360.com. You can WhatsApp me, you can email me, you can text me, you can message me. There are all kinds of ways. You can send a carrier pigeon, all kinds of ways that you can connect with me. So please go ahead and connect with me there and follow us on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com @Alicia Couri as well. And my name is at the bottom, so you can spell that. Well, yep. So it's time to release and get ready for 2025. Let's reset our confidence. And actually, this hairstyle is actually new for me. This is my natural hair. I've been growing it out for a year, a little over a year now, a year and a half, because since I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2020, I made the decision to stop using chemical straightener for my hair, and I stopped straightening it. And I stopped straightening it in 2023. Sorry, I stopped straightening it in 2023. So it's been in the process of growing out since then. And so this is a renewal. We're talking about resetting our confidence. So this is a reset for me. This is the first time that I have seen my natural hair since I'm 14 years old. Yes, and I'm 55. So it's been a long time since I've seen this. It's always been straightened out. So I'm resetting my own confidence by letting go and shedding a lot of things, that a lot of beliefs about myself, about my own vision for myself. So this is a perfect show, perfect time for us to talk about this. So let's get into it, right? Now, the first thing I want to share is the first step in this, like we're resetting our confidence, right? So the first step is really to reflect on the year that we've just been through. Reflect on that year. There are good things, bad things, unexpected things that has happened throughout the year. And I don't want you to reflect on the year with any judgment. Like, I don't want you to judge it, whether it was good or bad, or especially judging yourself, whether you did the right thing or not. I just want you to go back through the months of the year. And if you're someone who journals or calendars or does that kind of stuff, go back through your journal for the year, or go back through your calendars for the year. Go back through your notes and look at what you did throughout the year, how um, how your year was. Don't, again, no judgment. Just write stuff down. Just reflect. Reflect on the year that just went by. So I'm going to give you 4 steps, and I'm going to walk through these 4 steps as we go through. So the first one is to list month by month what happened. Just the facts. I have a coach, she says, just the facts. Just give us the facts. And she calls this your after action review. AAR, after action review. So shout out to Angelique Ruers. But, you know, just list everything month by month. And then as you're going through your list, I want you to look at what really, really went good for you. I mean, what were some of the things? And I want you to really connect your emotion to this. What were things that really made you feel strong and confident and in control? Like, what made you feel good? What made you feel empowered when these things happened? Or what actions did you take that that really resonated with you and said, yes, you know what? I didn't roll over this time, or I didn't lay down and let this thing just happen. I actually stood up for myself, or I stood up and I did something different, or whatever it is. What really, really went well that boosted your own confidence? Because sometimes we do these things and it boosts our confidence, and then the next moment or the next day, we feel like, oh, you know, like we got socked in the gut. And I remember this Bible story, and I because as I'm saying this, I remember this Elijah in the Bible. I don't know if you've ever heard of this story, but Elijah in the Bible, he was so empowered one day that he had these 300 priests and leaders of the false gods that they worshipped. And he did this miraculous thing, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but where he called fire down from heaven and burned up all their offerings and burned up the water around the altar and burned them up. And he did this powerful, powerful thing. And then the next moment, he was running and hiding in the desert from Jezebel, begging God to kill him because he's worthless. So sometimes we have those moments, right? If Elijah, the prophet of God, could have those moments, we could have those moments too, where we did this amazing thing. And then the next moment, we're like hiding in a corner because we don't feel worthy. So it happens, right? So think about those things that really boosted our confidence, because those are the things that we want to be able to lean into moving into 2025 and not remember all the stuff that made us cower in a corner. And then 3, let's look at what didn't go so well. So yes, back to Elijah, right? He did this amazing thing, and then he found out that Jezebel, the queen, was going to execute him. And so she had soldiers looking for him, and that's why he was running and he was hiding. And so that didn't go so well for him. he couldn't be as powerful as that all the time and just say, you know, just smite them too. No, he didn't feel that empowered in that moment. But what things did not go well? And sometimes those things that don't go well kind of strip us of our confidence. And like I said, leave us cowering in the corner, feeling like we're worthless and we're unworthy and we don't know what we're doing. I had one of those moments recently, actually, where I was sitting down to lunch, a celebration, holiday celebration lunch with someone, and they kept asking me about my vision for next year and what have I done this year and everything. And I came home and I was thinking about all the things that I didn't do that I said I was going to do, and it didn't go so well. And I just felt like, ugh. But the thing is, I did some really awesome things this year. I spoke on stage at TEDx. I mean, I did some awesome things, but in that moment, I couldn't even think of all those things. I couldn't think of all the really cool things that I did this year that made me feel so powerful and strong and amazing, because someone sat next to me and started telling me about all the things that I should have been doing and I didn't do, and I felt crappy. So these two lists are to help juxtapose that for you, because at one moment you could be at the top of the mountain, the other moment not feel so good. So write out what things, that you were disappointed by, or that didn't go so well, or that you shied away from doing because you didn't feel so confident about it. So make those two lists, okay? And then the fourth thing is, what do you want to experience more of? I know I had a great time on stage at TEDx, and I want to experience more of that in 2025. I want to be on stage more. I want to speak more. I want to get paid to speak. I am going after that in 2025 because that's what I want more of. So what is the thing that you want more of in 2025? What do you want to focus on more in 2025? So make that list. So those are the four things. Look at what happened month by month throughout the year without judgment. What went really well that boosted your confidence? What didn't go so well that made you feel kind of bleh? And then what do you want more of? So you're going to write those things down. And that's just in our reflection section, right? In that reflection. Now we want to move from reflection into release. This is where we get to really refocus and recenter ourselves when we are in this release. Because, yeah, and I released my hair. So I don't even know how to deal with this, to tell you the truth. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So as we're releasing now, looking at my notes, we're going to go through 1 to 3 in the release. So as you're going through month by month and you're looking at just the facts of things, what were some of the things that did not go so well for you that you might need to forgive yourself or forgive someone else? Because forgiveness is a powerful, powerful tool. And some people don't really understand the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not something that you're letting someone off the hook. Forgiveness is for self. It's for us. It's for me. I choose to forgive. It's a conscious choice to forgive, because then that helps release that situation, that person, even from yourself. Release the energy that unforgiveness leaves us trapped in. Unforgiveness leaves us trapped in this negative energy. But when we can forgive, we're releasing that negative energy. We're allowing that negative energy to flow out. And that's healthy for us. So what didn't go so well? And you want to look at, what did I learn from that experience? Was there something for me to learn in that experience? Because there's always a nugget that you can learn from something that did not go well. A failure, complete failure, or something that you knew that you should have done, but you didn't do, and it didn't turn out so well. There's always a nugget. One of the lessons that I learned this year, and I've known it, like you kind of know things, but then when I have a pastor that says, when the nickel drops, and that's for all of you who are like my age, when you use a payphone and you put the quarter, well, his generation was still a nickel. When you put a quarter in the little slot and you hear it go ching, 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 and then it falls to the bottom and you hear it kind of land in the bottom, then you know you can dial and make a phone call because the money dropped in. So that, I said all that to say, when that finally dropped into my spirit, on the law of cause and effect, how much I am the cause of every effect that's happening in my life. Like, nothing happens. There's no effect without a cause. So what am I doing to create that cause that I want the effect? If I'm not doing the right things, then I'm not being the cause of the effect that I want to create. If I want to create something, I need to know, what do I have to do to cause that? So if you're in business, if you have a business, you own a business, and you don't like sales. I have a friend who's like, I can't get on the phone. I just can't pick up the phone and call. I hate sales. Then the effect on your business is that you're not going to have new prospects. You're not going to have new clients. You're not actually going to close new business if you don't embrace sales. So sales is the only thing that drives business, that drives money into your business. Sales is the only thing that's going to drive money into your business. So if you have to get good at sales, you just have to. You have to find a way to, if you're in business, you have to find a way to overcome whatever that obstacle is, whether it's hiring someone to do your business development for you or figuring out, how do I do business development? I used to struggle with that a lot because I hate salesy salespeople. And what I realized is, if I focus on the benefits and I focus on the result and I focus on the value, then the sale becomes a lot easier because I'm focusing on the value and I'm making sure I'm pouring that value into someone instead of trying to get a sale or trying to get them to do something. So that's the way I've had to shift my own mindset around sales. And I know I'm a little off topic, but I'm just using that as an example of cause and effect. Like, I am the cause. I was the cause of low sales in my business because I wasn't out there doing the business development. If you don't take that kind of radical responsibility, using the law of cause and effect, you will find every year you're in the same place and not understanding how to shift it or why you're in there. So take the learnings, understand what can I learn from this thing not going off the rails or not working out the way or not getting the result that I wanted. What can I learn from that? Okay, so in that, you're releasing yourself from the negativity of failure. You're releasing yourself from feeling like, ugh, I didn't do it again. I said I was, but I didn't. So you're releasing yourself because now you've actually gained something from that thing not working out. You've gained learning. You've gained a different perspective. You've gained something. So you're looking more in the gains than the gap. Dan Kennedy has a book, The Gap and the Gain. So you're looking at what you gained instead of what you lost. So releasing is really great. Also, what went well, right? That second point, what went well? Maybe something did go well, and you're celebrating all, oh yeah, this really went well, but you're not really focused on how could it have been better, or what could I have done that amplified this a little bit more. Not to bring criticism to yourself, but just you want to celebrate that, but you also want to have an eye for, critical thinking through it. How can we critically think, this went so good for us, but what did we miss? Was there anything that was missing in there that we could have? So even in the celebration, you're trying to release the excitement, because sometimes that kind of boxes you into a way of doing things that is just one way, because you already experienced success in that. But we want to also take a step back and say, what else could we have done? Where else did we miss something? Like, really look at the full picture of it. And in that way, again, you're releasing even the win. You're releasing the win to bring in more opportunity or more of that kind of thing by looking at it from different ways. All right. So now let's jump into refocus. So we talked about reflection. We talked about release. And now we're going to talk about refocus, refocusing your confidence for 2025. That's what we're going to talk about, that fourth element. And that is what do we want more of in 2025? What do we want more of? And when looking into 2025, we always want to look into our future with a vision. And I have an acronym for vision. It's making sure you're still aligned with your values. So make a list of your values. What do I value? Is it the same thing I valued this year, or have my values shifted a little bit? Did something happen that makes certain things even more important to me than they were last year? Many of you know who are regulars to the show that my father passed away just before Thanksgiving. And so one of the things that while I value family, my family lives in another country, and so I don't get to see them that often because I don't travel there that much. But I'm making more of a concerted effort at least once a year to make that trip. And if I not just for me, but for my children as well, if they all can't make it, at least I am going to make that commitment to go at least once a year to visit my family. So that's something that I had to realign and put it in my calendar now so that I can start making plans for it to happen for sure. So, what are your values? Make sure that they didn't shift. Look at that again. And then how are you operating in your instincts? I am certified in a particular assessment tool that I use that really helps you evaluate your instincts and understand what those instincts are. And it's called Kolbe, Kolbe. It measures the cognitive part of your mind that drives your instinct and your instinctive way of problem solving and striving. So what are those instincts? Are you really engaged and aligned with those instincts as well? VIS, your strengths. You got to know your strengths. You got to know what you're working with in your strengths. So as you look at what do I want more of in 2025, how can I bring more of my strengths to bear to get that thing to happen? What are those strengths? So look at all your strengths and start really focusing in on that. I like to do an exercise with my clients on building a owner's manual for yourself. Like you build an owner's manual. We take these assessments and you put them in the owner's manual. You know what your strengths are. You know what your blind spots are. You know how to communicate that with someone else most effectively so that they know how to talk to you. They know how to get the best out of you. So that's one of the things that I work on with some of my clients too, is understanding those instincts and strengths. The other I in vision is innovate. Are you being innovative? Are you really looking at ways that you can do what you do in differently? Are you using AI tools? Are you really engaging a lot of those things into the way that you do things? That right now AI is so phenomenal and they're coming out with so many different ways to help us be more productive. So don't be afraid to step into that space and be innovative next year, more innovative with how you operate, especially in those things that you did this year that was successful and you want to do more of. Maybe there's an AI tool or something coming up that can really help you be more innovative. Then O is for opportunities. What are the opportunities right in front of you? What are those low-hanging fruit things that you can just take advantage of really quickly? So look at those opportunities. And the last one is N, and that is nurture. Nurture is so important. We have to nurture ourselves. We have to nurture our bodies, stay strong and healthy. We have to nurture our business. We have to nurture our prospects. If we're in business together, if we're in business, sorry, we have to nurture those prospects. So how do we nurture our vision and continue to help it come to pass? And part of that nurturing is your own nurturing yourself, that self-care. How are you making time for yourself to continue to grow and develop? Selfishness kind of gets a bad rap because it has such a negative connotation. And yes, being selfish for the sake of being selfish can be destructive. But when you are totally selfless and you're not paying attention to your own needs and your own health, things may not go so well for you in the long run. So a little bit of selfishness, a little bit of taking care of yourself. I was a flight attendant, and we used to tell people all the time, if there was an emergency and those oxygen masks, I know a lot of people don't listen to that anymore when you're on flights. I look at them, they're on their phones or they're looking at something else. But the thing that we're telling you is put your oxygen mask on first before you can help anyone who's with you. You have to learn how to take care of yourself first. You have to learn how to do that self-care, because just play that scenario out. If the cabin loses pressure and the oxygen stops flowing in the cabin, that's why it starts coming through the mask, and you're trying to help someone else who is in a panic, who's panicking. Have you ever seen someone drowning and someone going to save someone who's drowning? I also took lifeguard classes, and they always tell you, do not approach someone from the front if they're drowning. Come up behind them, because they will drag you down. They will take you down, and they have superhuman strength. And then you will drown too. Even if you're a strong swimmer, they will take you down. It's the same thing. If you don't put that oxygen mask on yourself, pretty soon you will not be able to breathe. And then how can you help someone else if you cannot breathe? If there's no oxygen for you to breathe, there's no way you can help a child or an elderly person next to you, because you're going to pass out. So that's why it's so important to understand that. And that's why we, as a flight attendant, we would say it over and over and over again, because we want that implanted in your subconscious mind. Because when an emergency happens, very rarely do we operate from our conscious brain, unless you're trained in a certain way to really pay attention consciously. Emergency's happening. I'm not going to get into a panic. I'm going to think through this emergency instead of just. So if you train yourself to think through emergency situations, then you'll continue to what's the next thing I have to do to solve this problem? What's the next thing? And when it's subconscious, when we drill that into your subconscious, we're hoping that when something happens, if ever those oxygen masks fall down, to grab it, put it on, and then look to help. So I said all of that to recap what we're focusing on. We're focusing on really resetting our confidence for 2025. We want to enter into 2025 with these tools in our tool bag from 2024, the things that worked really well for us. Did we think through those things? Did we really understand how it happened? Are we being consciously competent and thinking, oh yeah, this happened. Law of cause and effect, because I did this, and this, and that's why I got this result. Now, if I add this to it, I might get a bigger result. So we want to consciously be competent in our success. We want to recognize the things that did not work, why they didn't work, how we can change that, what were the lessons learned from that. And that's going to boost our confidence and take us into 2025 stronger and more, more powerful. That's what I want to say. And with that, those of you who are here live, if you want to stick around, we're going to have a short conversation after this. But for everyone else, thank you so much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. And we will see you again on another episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win Win Women TV. And until then, be bold, be brave, and every day do one thing to step out with audacious confidence. I'm Alicia Couri. Goodbye for now. Turnover. It's incredibly expensive for any organization, but especially those that are small and mid-size. If you're an organization and you're hiring, it's so important to get it right. You need to identify the right people for the right roles. Here at Audacious Concepts, Inc., we help you perfect your hiring process so you get it right every single time. Reach out to us at audaciousconceptsinc.com